Hi, my name is Carissa Yanati, and this is my midterm project for Professor Adrian Wheeler's class. So what you're looking at right now is my dashboard, and what I love about dashboards is just an easy way to visualize the data that you want to present, and it makes it really fun to play around with when you have some graphs that correlate to your slicers and when you make them all connected. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later. But right now I just want to focus on my raw data and explain to you why I chose it. So what I decided to do was based on New York City inspection grades for restaurants. So the reason why I chose to do this is because I'm the type of person who always likes to eat at restaurants who score a grade of A. Uh, and you'll later see this in my dashboard. It's because you can see that even though you have an A grade, you can still receive violations. Now, not all violations are treated equally or weighted the same, which is why you have critical violations versus non critical violations, which I'll later get into and further explain. But that's just me, and that's just personally why I like to eat at restaurants with an A. So I just want to show you quickly where I got this information. I got it from New York City Open Data, so we just want to Google that. And I really was finding trouble finding where I can find data sets that will download into Excel and actually make sense. Then mine was at health. So I highly suggest New York City Open Data, and mine was the first one. My old CIS professor actually recommended this. And the reason why I like this website is because you can filter within um, this website. So say if I only wanted to look at Bronx ones, I would just click add new, and then I would filter the borough and type in Bronx. But if you're not using a data set from this website, I'll show you how you can do that in Excel. And then you would just export it for Excel. So let's just get back to here. So this is my total uh, data right here. And say you wanted to filter it within Excel because you're not using that particular website. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to cell A1, and a cool trick is you press Control Shift and then the down key. And it's just going to highlight all your information. So as you can see, I'm working with over 440,000 rows of data, which is why it's probably not responding right now. Okay, cool, it's back. It's a lot of data for Excel to deal with, but it's not a problem. It went through all the data fairly quickly. So if you press Control Shift and then the right arrow key, it's going to select everything. And after I selected all of my data, I went to Insert and then I went to Table, which is why you see that it's white and then blue. It makes it easier to read. And it also allows me to have these filters on top. So if you want to filter it like I did, I focused my attention on Manhattan. So we just want to press Manhattan, as well as now this right here is going to show me all the restaurants for Manhattan. It's not completely filtered. And then I focused on just Lexington Avenue as well as Baruch College's zip code. And I'm not going to do this just to save time because I have it right here in my filtered data. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I think it's important for college students to focus on what they're eating, because what we do eat reflects how we perform in school, and we want to see what we're putting into our bodies. And not all restaurants are created or maintained equally. So I have it all for Manhattan, all in Lexington, and all within Brew College's zip code. So if we just go into a little bit of detail. The CAMIS is the unique identification code for each restaurant. The DBA is the restaurant name. Borough, of course, we're only focusing on Manhattan. The address, phone number, cuisine description. Then we have the inspection date, which is when the health inspector actually was on that location, whether or not there were violations cited. So let's just go to the raw data real quick. I'm going to clear this and scroll to the top. So we were on inspection date, correct? Yeah. Okay, so there might have been violations cited on that date, or sometimes there was no violations cited, as you can see here. I just wanted to show you the raw data because shows a little more information right now. Then we have violation code. So each violation code is unique in itself. So for example, 04L is evidence of mice, which is of course a critical violation, and it's something that is very important. And then you have something that's less important, which is not considered critical, which is thawing procedures were improper, which is 09B. Then you're gonna have your score, and each score is related to a grade. So the scoring system goes like this. It's just as if you were in school and you were on a scoring system. 93 and above is an A. Well, here for the restaurants, it's 0 to 13 is gonna be an A grade, as you can see right here. 14 to 27, which is borderline right here, is a B grade, and anything 28 and above is a C grade, which is really not that good. But each violation has a specific minimum point. So for example, when it's dealing with temperatures of food, that's a minimum point of 7 points right there, and there's really no limit on the maximum that you can receive. This is where I found this information. It's right here. It just gives a little bit of the history about how they score and how they grade. So as you can see here, look, a temperature right here. This was awarded the minimum, which was 7. So I'm just gonna show you now how I took the filtered data, which is right here, and I made pivot tables. So I just went to insert pivot table, and these 3 tabs right here that are color coded are my pivot table. So my first one was violations, and now these are all of the restaurants that are within my filtered data that I used. And these are the count of violations. It's not the score, it's the total number of violations that they have received. So we're just going to go to the dashboard, and this relates to this graph right here. And I'm going to show you, this is my bar chart, and I did a 3D one because I just thought I like the way it standed out, and it makes it easier to represent. And then I also have a slicer that represents my restaurants. So for example, like me, I like to eat at Chamalex, which is Thai food. So I'm just gonna select that, and I'm also gonna press control because I also like to eat at DD Dumpling. And it's kind of bothering me right now that you can't see everything. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna go to view and I press grid line. So it's gonna just take off all the cells to make it look nicer. Take off the headings and unpin this. So now you can see everything at once. It looks a lot better. So these are the 2 restaurants I like to eat at, and despite them having violations, you can see that the violations that they had were only grades of A, which is a good sign. So like I said, I just filtered the data, and now we want to go to grades, which is where I have all the restaurants, the number of grades they received from A through C, as well as my third pivot table, which is month, is going to be the months that they received the violations and whether they were critical or not. And then we're just going to go back to the dashboard. So now for my combo chart, it's showing critical versus non-critical, and it shows it by month, but we want to show it also by year. We want to filter it just a little bit more. So we're going to go to insert, and then we're going to go to slicer, years, press OK. I'm going to adjust the size of this, scroll this over, and I want to, options, I want it to have 2 columns, just to make it a little bit better. And then we're going to report the connections. So I reported the connections for all my slicers, and now it's just going to change everything. You see how it's selected just for 2016, or if you select it for 2014, it changes it as you go along, which is what I really love. And I think slicers are one of my favorite things when it comes to Excel, because it just filters the information to your liking and your customized needs. So say I only want to look at grades of A and in 2016 because that's most recent, then these are most likely going to be the places that I eat. Or if I really want to focus it on people who got grades of C, I know to probably avoid these restaurants. So thank you for watching. I hope this helped you, and I will link everything down below, and hopefully you can customize my Excel spreadsheet to your liking and restaurants that you visit.